Here we are tonight cooking with some guy, and I'm going to tonight teach you how to cook some really good Brussels sprouts. And what I like to do is when I was little I used to gag on Brussels sprouts, so I'm going to teach you how to make them so you don't have that reaction. So what you need is Brussels sprouts, you need olive oil, some salt, preferably sea salt, some pepper, as they say in France, pepper, and butter. Love my butter dish here, that's awesome. And some garlic, minced garlic, or you can chop it up yourself if you'd like that. This is what you need in order to start cooking the Brussels sprouts. Okay, so first we start off with the Brussels sprouts. Now, one of the things you want to know about Brussels sprouts is that they're very full of all kinds of nutrients of some sort. And you want to cut off this little ugly stem. So usually just cut this off. Now, I'm using a very nice knife by some very nice company that I like to cut with. So first you cut that stem off, then cut them in half. Now, if you cut as slowly as I just did, it will take you almost all night, so don't do that. You'll have to be careful with your fingers and all that, but you want to come out with something like this. And one of the things about these Brussels sprouts is that they're so delicious. These leaves are just wonderful and nasty. Don't eat them raw. Next, we're going to take a steel bowl or a mixing bowl, whatever you want to use. Now, I've previously cut all these. It took me all night. And I already ate my dinner, my steak, so I could film this without feeling hungry and trying to rush. So here are all the Brussels sprouts. You want to put them in there, in the bowl, just like this. Now, you want to get all the wonderful ingredients in here. So first you'll start with the olive oil. Just kind of douse it a little bit in there. And then you'll want to take some of the sea salt. Now I have this little crusher thing that I use. And then, so put a lot of the sea salt. Not a lot, but just some. You know what I'm doing right here. I don't know how much it is. I'm just throwing it in here. And then, obviously, you want to put a little black pepper in there. Not a lot. I don't use a lot because I don't really like it that much, but I'm using it anyways, just for the video I'm making with you. And then some minced garlic. Now, I should have had a spoon ready for when I was filming this, but I didn't, so luckily the drawer is right there. I'm going to take about a teaspoon full and put it in there, and another teaspoon more, because this is really good stuff. So it's good for you too, at least that's what I heard. So there you go. Now, the butter comes a little later for a little surprise at the end. I'm going to move the camera over to the stove, and then we'll start to cook this into a little frenzy. So I have preheated this pan so that I don't have to wait, and you can watch while I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do is just, don't touch a pan like that that's hot. So just a lesson for you kids out there. I'm going to put a little of this oil here, and I'm going to mix up that mixture that I made a little while back with the vinegar. I mean, not the vinegar. I didn't use vinegar. I just used oil and other things that I showed you earlier in the video. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in here. Now, I don't want it to be too hot because I don't want it to burn, but just bake, like saute it. So those of you who don't know what sauteing is, you're just kind of, see, I got all this garlic stuck to the bowl. I should have done it a little later. But anyways, here it is. So I'm going to take this spoon. I got other things I should be using, but the spoon works just nicely. I'm going to kind of toss it around here. Now, you're probably wondering what the butter was for. A little later, after I get this more cooked, basically it's going to cook down until the edges start to look a little bit translucent. Then I know it's done. But be careful of the garlic because it pops out like popcorn, and it can burn you as it has done to me many times. So I'm going to keep doing this, but I don't want you to watch it. So I'm going to wait until it's a little more done, then I'll have you come back. Okay, now you want to be stirring these constantly so they don't stick to the bottom and let the garlic stick to the bottom either. You want to keep them going, keep them moving, and all that. So once they get to where they're sort of brown in the middle and they're sort of translucent around the edges, then you know it's done. And then what I like to do is take a little bit of butter and put it in there as kind of like the little fine. Hear that popping noise? That's garlic popping on me. So I might have it a little too high. But the idea is you want to keep it moving, keep everything not sticking to the bottom, and make sure that when it's done, you haven't burnt anything. And you can keep sure of that by turning it down lower and lower, and then turn it up gradually as you start to see it cook a little more. So that's it. Once you've got them all looking the way they are like this, they're ready to eat. So you just put them on a plate and chow down. You want to take this off the, oh, no. You're going to take it off the heat so that they don't burn. Because with an iron skillet like that, it stays hot for a very long time. Now, guys, one way to save time on dishes is to just use the same dishes that you were cooking in. However, I wouldn't eat out of this because of that hot handle. So I'll just take that bowl that I mixed everything with and kind of just throw it back right in there and eat them with the same spoon that I was cooking with, and have a delicious, delicious set of Brussels sprouts, not broccoli. So what you end up with is a wonderful set of Brussels sprouts, and they're very delicious. Now, as they say in France, I don't know what they say in France, but these are very delicious. Now, you should probably wait a few minutes before eating them. They're very hot when you take them right off the oven or the stove. So, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on cooking Brussels sprouts with some guy.